Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be a pretty short one, though knowing me, I'm probably going to end up going on a side tangent that ends up stretching this video out to being like 10 minutes or even more just because I'm like that. Though maybe I'll get lucky and it'll actually be a short video this time. But honestly, a while back I was looking at the Dino Dana the movie toys and kind of looking at them again, and I kind of just wanted to talk about them since I don't know. The Dino Kids franchise and the toy line, or toys in general, honestly, are really questionable. And not questionable, actually, not really the right word, but they definitely have a lot of things to talk about. And I'm just going to say it now, I'm just covering the Dino Dana, the movie toys. Though, if you would be interested in me doing a video talking about other toys, or even doing some concepts for other toys in the future, comment down below and maybe I'll do that video in the future. But right now, we're going to be talking about the Dino Dana, the movie toys. Starting off, here's the roster of creatures. And, well, figures. We ended up getting, let me just count, we got 6 creatures of, like, the actual main figures, and then we got a bunch of minifigures, we got another 5 minifigures, so we have about 11 figures for the Dino Dana toy line. And I personally, these were also, I forgot to mention, these are not specifically just for the series Dino Dana, these are from the movie specifically, and knowing that, I really think that some of these were weird and possibly even poor decisions. Starting off, on the left side, we are starting with like the main creature toys for the film, which again, we'll talk about those more in a second, but those are like the main creatures that actually appear in the film and like the main larger figures for the series. Next, or at least the toy line. Anyways, next on the very far right, we have the minifigures. They just came in little like eggs that weren't quite surprise eggs since they did say where they were in, but they're just little eggs with little minifigures in them. Nothing too crazy. And then, again, I don't really expect it to be super tied to the film, but still at least vaguely. And then we have the middle toys, which baffle me because they're not really Dino Dana toys. In fact, I could be wrong, but I don't think, at least I don't think both of them are Dino Dana toys. I know the little green Rex is just the Safari Limited baby T-Rex, and that's just a generic random figure, nothing to do with the Dino Kids franchise. And I don't know why they didn't just release an individual version of the one that's in the minifigure egg, or another possibility, which I'll talk about in a second. And then also the other T-Rex. Why did we get another T-Rex? I think this is supposed to be like the cheaper version, but I don't understand why they didn't just make a smaller version of the larger one, or just make a new sculpt. Again, I think this might be just one of Safari Limited's other T-Rex models, but they couldn't at least paint it to be like the same as the regular Dino Dana or Dino Dan T-Rex instead of just having it be plain brown. Again, very disappointing, but again, we'll talk about them in depth a little bit more. First, we move on to like the main large figures. I think the T-Rex figure they released, I'm actually perfectly fine with this one just being a repaint of the other Safari Limited Feather T-Rex. I think it works well enough, and I think that the design does actually carry over nice. I think the paint scheme actually looks kind of nice on it. I'm okay with this one. Next, we have Nano Tyrannus, which a lot of people are kind of split on this. They're either just like, why did they make a Nano Tyrannus figure, or just think the figure doesn't look that good. And I was originally one of the people that, like, I understood why they were making it, and that wasn't really the thing I had an issue with. I was just kind of disappointed with the colors, like the actual, not quite the color scheme, but just the general design entirely. But I was watching some reviews earlier, and man, I actually kind of like the figure and might get it at some point. It just looks really good and also very accurate to the actual creature in the show. It's not perfect to the one in real life. It should have a little bit longer legs and maybe a longer snout as well. But outside of that, the Nano Tyrannus is just a really nice looking figure. And I think I would also keep it in there. It makes sense to have the, we already have the baby T-Rex, and then we also have the adult T-Rex, so Nano Tyrannus makes sense. Next we have Zool, which technically Zool shouldn't be here. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Zool has no reason to be here, and yes, it does kind of throw a wrench in things, and also there are way more prominent creatures that should be here over Zool, but Zool is also the best figure that released in this lineup, and also Zool is just awesome, so Zool gets a pass. Zool can stay. Zool will not be going anywhere. Zool, I actually think, should stay, and it should get should not get replaced by anything. Just think it's just staying. Zool is just really good. And then last we have the one that I actually did replace. I was expecting to replace more of these. I remember back when I was thinking of doing this video, I was going to replace Nano Tyrannus, but changed my mind on that. This last one, though, definitely getting changed. Why is Stygimoloch in this lineup? Yeah, Stygimoloch appeared in the movie, but it had a pretty minor role, and it was kind of just a piece to the puzzle, and like just a piece, not like the piece or like the main like base of the puzzle. What I'm trying to say is, why did we get Stygimoloch, a creature that has already been in the series since the beginning, which I guess could be backing for why they did it, but still, and also appeared in the, has its design debut in Dino Dana, instead of Pachycephalosaurus, the brand new creature in the movie, and also the one that's focused on a little bit more than the other two. Not much, but still a little bit more. It's supposed to be like the main adult one that all the other ones are being synonymized into. So why not just release Pachycephalosaurus instead? Honestly, it's just very confusing. Unless Safari Limited already had a Stygimoloch figure that they just wanted to repaint. I guess that could explain it, but I think they also had a Pachycephalosaurus, so why didn't they just repaint that if they wanted to? Honestly, just really confuses me. Maybe they just wanted something with a different color scheme that pops, since we have a yellowy brown one, just a brown and white one, a green creature, and then maybe they wanted something a little bit brighter than just blue. I honestly don't know. Still feels weird. We really should have gotten Pachycephalosaurus. Anyways, I do want to also mention, technically, you could make the argument that since we have the adult T-Rex and then like juvie T-Rex, they could have adult Pachycephalosaurus and juvie Pachycephalosaurus, that being Stygimoloch. That would also mean Zool would have to leave, and yeah, that's not an option. Zool must stay at all causes, so I think they should have just had Pachycephalosaurus instead. Don't know why they didn't do that. Also, generally from my consensus of what I've seen, the Stygimoloch is like the least liked figure out of all of them. The minifigures also people weren't super big fans of, though I kind of understand those ones. I feel like those are a little bit targeted for younger kids a little bit more. But Stygimoloch is just one that generally I saw most people just kind of dislike out of these the most. So yeah, I don't know why they did Stygimoloch. I think the Pachycephalosaurus just has a more visually pleasing color scheme, a little less chaotic. But anyways, moving on to the actual minifigures. These ones technically would be mostly fine. Actually, there's only one of them that I really changed, but I decided to change two of them just because I felt like it. First thing, Spinosaurus, perfectly fine. We're going to talk about that genus more in a little bit. T-Rex, perfectly fine, I guess. Again, since it's the movie, it should be Toby's design, but we'll talk about Toby in a minute. And instead, this one I think is perfectly fine, just having being the Dino Dan T-Rex. Then we have the baby Triceratops, also again perfectly fine being designed. Stegosaurus technically is fine, but Stegosaurus has very little presence in the show, and personally, I think it'd be a little bit more striking if they did a sauropod. Would make more sense for like Diplodocus, since he got a redesign in the movie, or Brachiosaurus is just such a prominent creature in the franchise. But I would Footolonchosaurus, because Footolonchosaurus needs more love. Footolonchosaurus is blue, just like the Stegosaurus, and just, again, Footolonchosaurus would just be really cool to get a baby figure of. So yeah, that's why I decided to put Footolonchosaurus in here. The baby Stegosaurus is perfectly fine, though the one that I think actually does need to change is the baby Quetzalcoatlus, because the design is not a baby Quetzalcoatlus. That's just a baby Pteranodon called baby Quetzalcoatlus, and yeah, it's definitely not the best. Honestly, I think a new sculpt that would reflect a baby as Darkhead would be way better than what we got, but yeah. Again, also change the colors up, because the one in the film is more of like a brown and pink and purpley color scheme. Well, the figure we ended up getting was more of a blue with red and with also a little bit of tan and yellow. If anything, I think this would just be better the base of Pteranodon design, because this is basically just a Pteranodon for the Dino Kids franchise. Not really a Quetzalcoatlus. Again, Footolonchosaurus is optional, otherwise the only one I really need to change is Quetzalcoatlus. Next, moving on, this one is actually, outside of this is going to be the only new species I add. Size range wise that we're adding. We're not swapping out for something, we're actually adding two in the place of one. I know it would be more expensive, but I feel like they could definitely shell out the extra money just to get these essential species. I'm going to start with the more less important one, which is, well, not less important, but the more minor one, Toby. Why did we not get a figure of Toby? Instead of getting a random green T-Rex, why wasn't the standard baby T-Rex that you can buy individually not Toby? Really should have just been a little feathered T-Rex, and then the one in the egg could have just instead been the regular unfeathered T-Rex, and then this could have been the Toby version. Really makes no sense that they didn't do this. And then also the big T-Rex figure, why did we get this when we don't have Spinosaurus or Quetzalcoatlus? Both of them are main antagonists in the actual film. Both of these are the main antagonists in the actual film, and we didn't get a figure for either of them. Both of them only got baby figures, of which Spinosaurus never had babies in the movie. And, it makes sense, I guess, because the Spinosaurus in the film is a freak of nature, an awesome freak of nature, and probably one of the best creatures in the film. I absolutely love the movie Spinosaurus, and it's a shame that it didn't get any figures. I would have bought that up in an instant, since I was obsessed with it back then, and still am very obsessed with the Spinosaurus design. And it's just really weird we didn't get a figure for either of these. And honestly, if I had to pick one, I think Spinosaurus is a little bit more warranted. I know that's my bias, because I think the Spinosaurus is overly cool, but still, I feel like it would have made more sense to get a Spinosaurus figure. Don't know why we didn't get one. Maybe they had conflicting issues with it being knuckle walking, but it walked bipedally in the film. I don't see why. If they were able to completely change the baby Quetzalcoatlus design to be a baby Pteranodon, I don't see why they couldn't do a more bipedal looking Spinosaurus and then just give it or at least make it more bipedal. Actually, just take the regular design we have already and just make it a little bit more bipedal. I don't know why they didn't just do that. And it's really weird we didn't get either of these two species. Even Quetzalcoatlus is the main antagonist for the second half of the film, and honestly, it's also a really cool creature. And again, the design honestly could just be based off of a real-life Quetzalcoatlus more than the one in the movie, but still, really weird that we didn't get either of these. Just bizarre. It's like if we got Jurassic World Dominion, but instead of getting a garbage Jurassic World Giganotosaurus toy, we instead got neither. We just got, well, a random another T-Rex figure for no reason. Would be very, very weird. Not even like a new sculpt, just like a re-release of like the Thrash and Throw T-Rex or something. Like, yeah, the Thrash and Throw T-Rex is pretty nice, but like, why are we getting a re-release of it? Again, just feels really weird. Why did we not get the main antagonist, especially since they're so cool? So, yeah, that is my full redo for the Dino Kids toy line, at least for Dino Dana the movie. If I could, I would have made like a way bigger toy line. And honestly, again, if I do more videos like this in the future, which if you like, just comment. If you like that idea, just comment down below and I'll consider doing it. And again, I kind of plan on maybe doing like picking a company to make the toys. Because, hey, maybe I will stick with Safari, because I do think they make nice things, but hey, maybe I'll pick another company just kind of to imagine what it would be like if they were made in a different way. And also think that I want to expand the roster more, because personally I feel this is a pretty small roster. If you're excluding the minifigs, which most times are not even considered in the roster, and excluding, well, when we come to excluding minifigs, we're not counting Toby. Well, I mean, we are counting Toby, but as a regular figure. We only get 7 figures, which I feel like, I guess, is a lot, but at the same time feels really low. Honestly, wouldn't be mad at getting like Olivia Tan and Megalodon figures, well, since those appeared in the opening of the film, and just a few other species would have been really nice. Again, I'll probably cover it more. I'll talk about like the Geo World figures and other figures and stuff whenever I do a follow-up, again, if you guys actually want me to do that. Covering the other series and what it would be like if they got more toys. Because I think Dino Dan was the only one that got it, and then Dino Dana got some for the movie. And then Dino Dex also got some dig kits, but it didn't get any actual figures, which is kind of disappointing. And again, I will talk about that more in whatever follow-up video I do. But again, just kind of wanted to make this quick video, which, like I said, was going to balloon out to like 10 minutes somehow. But yeah, anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I know at least one person is going to agree with me majorly on that we should have got a Spinosaurus figure, and honestly would love to get a Spinosaurus figure. Honestly, wouldn't be mad if Spinosaurus was coming back with its Dino Dana in the movie design. Would be nice to get an updated design, but hey, wouldn't be complaining if they just reused this one and just had it walk bipedally and maybe just fix the tail. That's honestly the biggest issues I'd say that really need to be fixed, and everything else is good enough, I'd say. Though it would still be better to get a completely new and updated fresh Spinosaurus, though hopefully we keep some of the energy from this one. Anyways, again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are your thoughts on this? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!